مساء الخير مساء فطوركم مرحبا بكم encore une fois notre programme SahraTech. C'est le 7e webinaire de SahraTech, un moment agréable d'échange pour animer nos soirées et vos soirées ramadanesques en ces temps de confinement. Avant de commencer, je voudrais d'abord remercier Rim qui a eu la gentillesse de me céder exceptionnellement sa place ce soir et demain. Donc, merci Rim. Je voudrais remercier également l'équipe Algeria Startup Challenge qui est à l'origine de cette idée. Ces jeunes très dynamiques, très réactifs, qui n'arrêtent pas d'innover, qui n'arrêtent pas de bouger. Donc, je nomme Fatah, Nsrine, Mehdi, Hicham, Lamine, Nourdine, Madame Slimani, Iman et Mohammed, j'espère, et je ne manquerai pas de remercier infiniment, je dirais, the brains derrière tout ce qu'on fait, Dr Hamid Bakli, fondateur et CEO de CapCoWork, le bien qu'il fait à sa communauté et pour le réseau extraordinaire qui ne cesse de grandir grâce à sa générosité. Donc, je pense la thématique sera très intéressante parce que ce qui est exceptionnel aujourd'hui, c'est que notre thématique sera destinée à toute la communauté algérienne. Donc, جميع الجزائريين على كل مستويات في كل الأعمار هذا الموضوع اليوم يخصكم أنتم جميعا. Et je pense qu'on s'est habitué à se retrouver presque chaque soir avec un nouveau speaker et autour d'une nouvelle thématique. Donc, ces webinaires sont devenus carrément un rendez-vous incontournable attendu par toute la communauté. Je rappelle que ce programme a pour objectif d'offrir un canal de communication à tous les professionnels et experts nationaux et internationaux et de permettre à la communauté algérienne, notamment les jeunes Algériens porteurs de projets, d'un contenu instructif et qui les intéresse, bien sûr, tout en vulgarisant des concepts essentiels de base et notamment des sujets d'actualité. Donc, d'abord, et avant de vous présenter notre expert, je voudrais le saluer. Mohammed, مساء الخير.
Allô, salam alaikum, مساء الخير, ça va فطوركم?
فطورك Mohammed, merci d'avoir accepté notre invitation. Ça nous fait vraiment plaisir de vous voir aujourd'hui, de partager l'écran ensemble et de discuter autour de ta thématique très intéressante.
شكرا هدى, شرف لي أن نكون معكم. شرف لي أن نكون معكم.
Donc, chers spectateurs, j'ai l'immense privilège de vous présenter Monsieur Mohammed Hamid Allah TAOUCHE, conseiller auprès du nouveau ministre de la micro-entreprise, de la start-up et de l'économie de la connaissance. Mohammed, diplômé de l'École nationale d'administration, incarne le modèle du haut fonctionnaire puisqu'il mène de front une carrière professionnelle impressionnante au sein de plusieurs administrations publiques, doublée d'un parcours universitaire exemplaire. En effet, c'est en effet à Sengkyunkwan University, corrige-moi Mohamed si je prononce ça correctement, en Corée du Sud, qu'il va compléter son cursus avec l'obtention d'un MBA en Public Governance, e-gouvernement. De retour à Alger, Mohamed réintègre le MICLA et est d'emblée propulsé conseiller au cabinet du Wali d'Alger en charge de la coopération internationale et du projet Algiers Smart City. C'est là qu'il participe activement à la coordination de la promotion des initiatives liées à l'écosystème et l'innovation, aux startups de la promotion des initiatives liées à l'écosystème de l'innovation, très heureux de t'accueillir chez SahraTech. Je voudrais juste signaler que nous aurons 3 autres intervenants qui sont, je pense, qu'ils étaient tes camarades en Corée du Sud. Donc, on aura ce soir avec nous M. Fabien Viscoso de l'Équateur et Mme Laura Barahona Carmona du Costa et M. Pierre Célestin Bebinyamana du Rwanda, c'est ça?
Effectivement, tamam.
Super. Donc, Mohamed, moi, j'ai eu la chance de lire un petit peu tout ce que tu m'as proposé autour de ta thématique les 2 derniers jours et j'étais impressionnée par cette thématique, parce que quand on voit le sujet ou bien le titre de ta présentation qui est « Key factors to adopt in e-government services in Algeria », on pense que ça parle de e-government. Mais non, en fait, اليوم راح نحكيو على ردة فعل المواطن الجزائري تجاه الخدمات المعروضة، الخدمات الإلكترونية المعروضة من طرف الحكومة الجزائرية. اليوم يعني ماناش راح نحكيو عن الحوكمة، وإنما راح نحكيو عن الحكومة الإلكترونية أو الإدارة الإلكترونية.
تماما. شكرا هدى. شكرا هدى. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين. بادئ الأمر صحة فطوركم السادة المشاهدين. نشكر كل الحاضرين معنا اللي لبوا الدعوة وراهم معنا. إن شاء الله نقضيو مدة زمنية فيها كثير من مشاركة الأفكار والاستفادة من الخبرات المختلفة. نشكر شكر خاص كذلك فريق Algeria Startup Challenge اللي حقيقة شرف عظيم أني عضو في اللجنة العلمية المكلفة بانتقاء المشاريع، وكانت لي فرصة وإن نعرفهم شخصيا.
عضو جد فعال.
أنا أعرفهم على الصعيد الشخصي. الدكتور حميد باكلي غني عن التعريف، اسمه يكفي فقط بنشاطاته وأعماله. إن شاء الله نكونوا عند حسن الأمور اللي هم طالبينها منا، ولا إن شاء الله نكونوا في المستوى ونقدموا الشيء اللي تعلمناه ولا الشيء اللي قدرنا عليه إن شاء الله.
واش رايك نبداو par le partage de ta présentation, et donc on va échanger autour de cette thématique très intéressante et on invite tout le monde. Vous étiez nombreux قلتوا لنا احكوا باللغه العربيه باللغه الانجليزيه. اليوم محمد va faire sa présentation sera en langue anglaise, donc راحين يوصلونا اسئلتكم باللغه العربيه باللغه الانجليزيه باللغه الفرنسيه، et donc on fera plaisir à tout le monde.
فقط باش نلفت انتباه الساده المشاهدين اللي راهم معنا في المباشر ان الناس اللي راها تتبع في Algeria Startup Challenge تعدات حدود الاقليم الجزائري. هناك اجانب اللي راهم اظهروا كثير من ce qu'on appelle la curiosité pour ce qu'on est en train de faire. Donc من الأحسن أن تكون لغات كثيرة، ممكن يكون تدخل بالعربية بالفرنسية بالإنجليزية، لكن في الأخير إن شاء الله الأفكار اللي نقدموها إن شاء الله توصل للسادة المتابعين. So let's switch to English, I guess. First of all, I guess like my classmates, Fabian and Laura, Mubarak, they are here. Welcome guys, it's a great honor to have you with us. I got a great opportunity to study with them in Korea, and everyone is a public officer in his country, so we are in charge and we are trying to work on what we call the e-government African draft, because we were more than 15 participants in a program in South Korea. So we have kind of network. This is why they are with us tonight. So I will start by sharing my screen, please.
Great. So I think we're ready to go.
Yeah, let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, good evening again. So, as you can see, our topic tonight will talk about the key factors to adopt e-government service in Algeria. So, as you know, this study was a part of my master's degree in South Korea, where I had a great chance to do some studies about the behavior and e-government services in one of the most developed countries in the world. We are talking about Seoul. It's about South Korea, and Seoul is one of the most developed city or around the world. So when I was there, when I first arrived to Korea, I was thinking that these countries are developed because they are worth and they are educated. But more I stayed there and starting to study the Korean society, and I found out that there is other factors that push people to use e-government services. This is why I came up with this study. So let's start by the basic words. What do we mean by e-government? You know, it's a composed word. We can see the E, which means electronic, and government. It means as we can find a lot of definitions of this, but one of the best one is like e-government is the use of information and communication technology, what we call ICT, to enhance and improve the quality and activities of public sector's organization. It means the government is doing a policy and strategy to improve their actions and their activities and to approach their services to the citizen. This is the main point of e-government. The World Bank also have a definition about that. It's almost about how to improve and enhance the quality of life of citizen dailies by providing online services. So what type of e-government we have? We have four types actually of e-government. It's relation between the government and citizen. We have what we call it G2E. We have the G2C, what we call the government with citizen. We have the G2E, which means the relation between the government and the employees. We have the G2B, which means the government and the relation with the business or investors. And also we have the G2C, which means our focus study tonight will be focusing on this. This is the study border. We will talk about the relationship between government and citizen. It means it's a G2E. One part of my studies when I was there, I found out that we have this policy of e-government. It means more than 10 years. Algeria already started, and not just Algeria, a lot of countries around the world started this new era of electronic government. But till now, we noticed, we found out that like the missions or the objectives of these policies didn't be guessed. So I was asking myself, what kind of barriers we have that push us to not improve and enhance e-government implementation or services? So we have a lot of barriers. Unfortunately, tonight we cannot talk about all of them, but I will choose two barriers that personally use them in a part of my case studies in Korea. It's more about the social and cultural aspect and also technical aspect. So here briefly what we are going to talk. Well, we will talk about the cultural implementation of new technology, like the religion, the education, the value, the characters, language, and the behavior of society. This is what we are going to talk tonight. So, as I mentioned before, a lot of countries around the world start these e-government services like 10 years ago, maybe, but we didn't know that it's e-government. If we take the example of Algeria, for example, like the biometric passports and the identification card, also biometric, it's been a couple of years we start, but we didn't know that this is one of the parts of the government. So we have a lot of theories and models that push us to understand the behavior and the citizen behavior. One of these theories is that the one that you can see on your screens right now, which we call the unified theory of acceptance and use of technology. It's one of the most popular framework in the field of general technology. It aims to explain the user intention to use an information system and further to user behavior. So maybe I can give you a brief explanation about this in Arabic for the followers that they cannot follow us. تعد هذه النظرية التي تسمى بالنظرية الموحدة لقبول استخدام التكنولوجيا دراسة تنظم تكنولوجيات المعلومات بصفة عامة كمؤشر لسلوك استخدامها. تقترح هذه النظرية أن الأداء المتوقع والجهد المتوقع والتأثير الاجتماعي على المواطن يؤثر إيجابيا أو سلبيا على مدى استخدامه لكل ما هو معاملات عبر الإنترنت لفائدة الحكومة. So Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead, Huda.
So it means, Mohammed, in this theory, we have all the factors from both sides, government and citizen, that push the citizen to use the new technology. يعني هي جميع العوامل المجتمعة اللي تخلي المواطن يتبنى أو لا تكنولوجيا جديدة.
تماما هذا بالضبط ما نقصده من خلال هذا العرض. So when I did some research about the Algerian platforms or websites or government website, I found out that the most Algerian government agency or administration, ministries, or so on, they have their own website, but the citizens are not using these services via online. So this is what pushed me to try to find out why we have this gap between using the online services and the behavior that the citizens are sharing. So the purpose of the study, yeah, go ahead.
Can you give us a couple of examples in Algeria of this resistance to use the e-government or this technology online?
Yeah, we did a survey. Actually, it's next slide. I will tell you about it because we have a survey that I will share it tonight with our followers. So the purpose of this study, as I say, is to understand this behavior. Like, we know that the government is doing a great job since the past years to improve and to enhance the online services, but still there is a big lack, and the citizens are not satisfied by these policies. So we are trying to check the side of the other side of the pictures. So if the government is doing this and the citizens are not using it, so how we can evaluate our policies? So we need to understand the behavior first and push people to use it, that we can improve, the government can improve and enhance their policy and their strategy. So as I was talking, this unified theory that I'm using tonight, and I'll try to explain for you, was one of the most famous theories to test and see the behavior intention and the behavior use of government services. So this is the original model. I will not talk too much about these technical issues. I will share my presentation, and even our students, that they can understand a little bit what I'm presenting tonight. They can inbox the Algeria Startup Challenge team and feel free to ask me about any results. Even later, I will share with you the data that I collected and also this presentation. So this is the original model. The original model says, like, there is 4 factors that can affect the behavior attention and push people and citizens to use e-government services. For example, they are using the performance expectancy, effort expectancy, social influence, and facilitation condition. I will try to explain this very quickly. What do we mean by performance expectancy? It means what kind of performance we are expecting the government, what kind of performance the government is expecting from the citizen to use e-government service. It means, I will try to highlight it in Arabic, الأداء وهو الأداء المتوقع، ويقصد به الدرجة التي يعتقد الأفراد أن استخدامهم للتكنولوجيا سوف يؤدي إلى تحقيق مكاسب في الأداء الوظيفي لهم، ويمكن أيضا أن ينظر إليه باعتبار فائدة المدرك من استخدامه للتكنولوجيا. It means, did the citizen understand that using e-government services will make his life more easy? Did he have the information? That's the first point. The second point is the effort expectancy. What can explain by what kind of effort I have to do to get these services. It means, if I will spend more time by uploading or loading a website, government website, and the internet is not that good, and I will not get what I want, it's much better for me to go directly to the administration and do it face-to-face. So we need to know what kind of effort our citizens are doing to use e-government services. The third point is about social influence. Maybe I will highlight the first effort in Arabic for our followers. We said that effort expectancy, it means الجهد المتوقع، ويقصد به كما كنت أشرح مدى سهولة استخدام التكنولوجيا. على سبيل المثال قد يقارن ممارسو العلاقات العامة للجهد والوقت اللذان يبذلان استخدام الإعلام الاجتماعي لتحقيق غرض معين مقارنة بوسائل أخرى كالمواقع الأخرى في شبكة التواصل الاجتماعي والعلاقات التقليدية. So this is the second one. The third factor is about social influence. It means how does the citizen can be influenced by the behavior or their entourage to use e-government. For example, if I'm using e-government services or online services to have an appointment or have a meeting with the doctors or so on, does my friend, my brother, my entourage will affect me? That it means we are testing if we can use a kind of policy to nudge and to push people to be influenced by each other. And the last one is the facilitating condition. It means what kind of resources we have implemented to use to affect the behavior and attention of citizens. If we have laptops, prints, and so on, all these kind of services. So this is the original model. All the countries that they tested and use this model to check their behavior in their countries, they use this model. In my case, in Algeria, I did an amended model. As you can see it's here. So as you can see, I took the same model, but I added two new factors, which are the trust in government and website quality. The trust in government, it means if I'm trusting data that my government is giving it to me, or my informations are protected, it's about privacy, does that affect my use behavior and push me to use e-government services? And also the same thing for the website quality, the operation of the website and how we call it, it's more attractive. The website pages are more attractive. Does that affect me to use e-government services? So generally, this is the model. This is the model. It's very interesting thing because the results, when I was there, of course, as an Algerian, I was having some answers before I get the results, and it's statistical results. So I was thinking, yeah, trust. Of course, we don't trust Algeria, the government, the website quality. Everyone knows that the websites are not that good compared with what our needs. But you will be surprised, guys, by the results at the end. Like even me, I was sharing with you, Huda, if you remember, a couple of days ago, and you told me like you never thought that we can get this kind of results.
So Mohammed, here you took you adapted the original model to Algeria. That's it.
Exactly. You know, I could use a lot of other factors, but because it was a master degree, so I wasn't allowed to use more than this, and even the duration was a little bit short to do the study.
Yeah. So if you don't mind, I have two questions for you. The first one
is go ahead.
Technical basic question. So if we add two extra factors to the original model, does it mean that we are innovating or creating a new theory, or it means that we are keeping the original one and just adding some input to get new results? And the second question is, why did you choose trust and website quality?
Thank you. Yeah, that's great questions, because that you are pushing me directly to my next slides. Yeah, totally agree with you.
Take your time.
The reports, the model, it's kind of innovation. Totally agree with you. Yeah, you got it, because around the world there is a lot of theory that it already exists, that we are not going to create our own model or unique model. We have just to adopt what's going on around the world with our specific characters or specific indicators here in Algeria. We know that it was always a problem of, it was a question of trust. And the current government is working so hard to build that bridge, rebuild, I mean, this bridge. And I guess we are in the great way for that. And also why I choose these two variables, there is a lot, as I mentioned, there is a lot of variables that I can use here, independent variables, but because of it was a short time for me to do a long study, so I left it for other studies, and that's one of the limitations of these studies, that other students or other PhD or master degrees or researchers can add other factors here in this model.
All right, perfect.
I guess we have, if you allowed me, Huda, we have Fabian with us, my dear friend, and we have Laura here. They just joined us. I'm so pleased to have you guys with us. Thank you for joining us. Hello, Fabian.
Hello, Fabian.
Hi, Mohammed.
Hi, Fabian.
Nice to meet you, everyone.
How are you?
Nice to meet you, everyone. Sorry, I don't have actually my video right now, so I'm just through the audio.
It's okay, Fabian. Everyone knows that you are handsome. Don't worry. And Laura, you are here.
Hello.
Hello, Laura.
Here.
안녕하세요.
Hi.
안녕하세요.
안녕하세요. Hello from Costa Rica.
Yeah, welcome for Laura. Laura is one of my classmates. I have the pleasure to study with her, and she is also a public officer in her country. Welcome, Laura.
Welcome, everyone. Mohammed, it was very interesting, your presentation. Thanks for sharing.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So we're going to continue, and I will give you a couple minutes before you leave. I know that you have, it's 4 a.m. 4 a.m. there, I guess.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So I will come back for you guys. Thank you to be with us tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
So let's go deeply now. Let's have more specific cases and answers for your questions, guys. The model was tested via survey. It means we did a Google Form survey online that I will share with you later. Which means we distribute a survey among more than 1,000 participants, randomly chosen in all Algeria, south, east, west, wherever, and via website, via the social media, Facebook, WhatsApp, and email. And we got this. So we were asking ourselves in the beginning, the main research question here was, how can the factors that influence the acceptance and use of e-government services in the Algerian public sector be most effectively captured by using the purpose of this model? It means if the government is doing, trying to improve and enhance the policy, what makes the citizen resist to use it if we know that there is a great, big political will, and we can feel it right these days? So where is the problem exactly? So that's the hypothesis. I will, as I told you guys, I will share you with this, share you the presentation later. So we were asking just question, ordinary question: does trust positively influence the behavior? Positive performance expectancy will have also a positive influence. So it means all these factors will influence and affect the use of e-government services. So this is the results that we're going to the result now. The methodology chosen for this maybe for more experts for PhD and master degrees. Everyone knows that we have different methodology to analyze any data or do any research especially master or PhD degree. So in my case, I use quantitative methodology. Those who can use qualitative methodology, those who can use both, a mix. In my case, I use this methodology. So the target was citizen. The respond, we got 358 respondents, and we use this software analysis devices. We call it EFA and CMS. It's more technical, but I will just skip it. So this kind of information where the survey was launched and etc. Let's go for the results. So among what we got, let's talk a little bit about our results. So the sample size chosen was, we have an equal between male and female, as you can see. So it's 44% female and 55% male. The age, as you can see, 68% are between 35 and 49, 17% and 90% are between 18. And that makes us understand that the Algerian society is very young, and it's very important. This factor is very important. It means they are living in this era. Okay, let's move. We asked also our participants in the survey about their background, and if they can, as you can see, 62% of the responders are postgraduate degree. It means they have master or PhD, and that's very important thing, because the quality of the answers that we got via this survey were very, very, very high quality. And also we asked the citizen about using how often they are using internet. So as you can see, if we added 47 and 37%, it's more than 80% that they are several times a day using e-government, using internet. And the last question of the demographic stuff, that about how they are competent with using their devices. So more than 70% are quite competent to use their device, laptops or even smartphones. And this is the most important thing. 99% of the Algerians that we asked them are connected 24 hours to internet. It means all the factors, the demographic factors that we need to use e-government, we already have it in Algeria. People are connected, they are high degree level, they are educated, they are using websites and stuff. So it means let's move for our hypothesis to see. So these guys, I will not share with you, I will not talk about this because it's more technical. As I mentioned before, those who are interested to this study, they can inbox the team, the Algerian startup team, via their Facebook page. They are following, they are answering most of the questions, and I can share with you the guys and even have another meeting with you if you want to have more details and explanation about this analysis. So let's go direct to the results. So as you can see, this is our result here. We got that the trust affect the attention behavior. When you see supported, it means it's effect. So among the 5 questions, we got 5 factors that they are positively affected the attention behavior of using e-government services. We got the trust, we got the social influence, we got effort expectancy, we've got facilitation condition, and also we got that behavior attention use is affected by the behavior attention. So we are trying now, we are moving to the finding and explanation about this result. Why does trust affect behavior, and why others factors were not supported? So as I mentioned before, let's make it now, let's do a little bit summary that we can finalize everything. As I mentioned, the purpose of this study was to investigate factors affecting the acceptance and use of e-government service in Algeria, so as to provide a number of applications that could enhance and increase the use of e-government service, and even encourage citizens to accept and use these services. So as we said before, these theories were made just to test if the behavior potential will affect using any government service via these factors. We already talked about the finding, we got the results. And now this is the most important part of this research. We found out that there is a lack of technical support for government website. This is why the results of website quality wasn't affected, because people, they are not using websites because they are thinking that the data is not updating or the quality of the website is not that good, so they are resisting. The second finding was that there is a lack of awareness of e-government service. It means that people doesn't know why the government is doing this. It means that we have to work on more about what we call it, the marketing of our policies. That the government should focus more about how to make citizens understand why it's very important to him to use his phone, either go outside and do. And I guess during this this coronavirus period, that I hope that inshallah everyone will be okay. We got very, very impressive results. People start using their phones. It means that we already have the platform, we already have the website. We need just to address a clear policy to get the result that we are already looking for. And also we got the third finding, that availability and reliability of internet connection. I guess everyone knows that if by the time that I'm speed and the quality, of course I prefer to do a face-to-face instead to waste my time by using internet. Yeah, Huda, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask, so you think that the lack of awareness is due to a bad communication and a bad marketing, right?
That's our results. Yeah, we didn't find any clear policy the past years about kind of a campaign of sensibilization for citizens to try to explain for them that this is a new era. We need to do it. We need to move. I will share with you, this little bit weird for me, but when I was in Korea, I couldn't use, for example, my MasterCard or my Visa card. So that's really, really very, very important here. So the citizen must understand that one day he will need these services. So it's much better to start right now and trust the government and start by using these online services and give a chance to the government to improve and enhance via their feedbacks. Because in Korea, for example, each year they are doing a survey to the citizen, asking them if they are satisfied by the quality of online services. The Ministry of Interior did it, is working on this. For example, I already participated in a couple of works with them during the summer period, and when people are in vacation on the beach, they are applying a survey asking people. It's an online survey. It's a very interesting app. Also, I guess the name, the app of the name is SahraTech. Asking people if they are satisfied about the quality of the public services, parking, public toilet, road, security, all this stuff. So it's very important to do this kind of survey and asking people, and that gives the sensation for the citizen that he's a part of the decision and he's very close to those who are doing making decisions.
And I think that almost no one knows about this service. So actually, Algerian people do care, they just don't know.
Exactly. It's a part of the finding. That's a part of the finding. That's one of the main part of the finding. So here, after these results, we were trying to came out by a theoretical or a clear policy that can in our opinion, enhance and improve the quality and the quality of this online services, and also affect the attention behavior and the behavior to use e-government services. So the first one is awareness. As we mentioned before, that was in fighting Huda. So we need to work a little bit about how our knowledge about e-government service, why it's important. The government must and should give more information about the value of e-government and what kind of outcomes can we get if we, in time costs and so on, if we use the e-government services. The second point is the trust enhancement. It sounds like it's a political stuff, but I think even the government, by sharing kind of information and data online, it can be a clear message that we are trusting you, so we are giving you our information, our data for research or whatever. I will give an example for this point. For example, in Korea, you can see the CCTV, the camera of all the streets via your phone. That's amazing, you know. If I'm sitting in my place and I want to see just, I don't know, let's say Itaewon or Gangnam. It's a very nice city, luxurious cities in Seoul. I need just to see it, take my phone and see everything. I will share with you another example. For example, if you want to rent an apartment, you don't need to move and see the apartment. You know, you can just check it via your phone, a video, and even you can do all the process of renting the apartment just via your phone. It means there is a kind of trust between the citizen and the government. So we need to work on this point. It's one of the main pillars of e-government success. Also, education, and this point, I guess we already have it, because I think what the government is doing by supporting the education in Algeria, it's almost for free. But we need just now to move to this new era, like in universities or primary or even secondary school. Let's teach our kids and let's teach the students that they have to use this, because it's their future and the future of their other generations. The fourth point, it's about the collaboration between government bodies. In the past years, we noticed that a lot of ministerial departments were already announced series of policies. I remember that we have an amazing and very, very advantage challenge that the Ministry of Telecommunication launched, which was Algeria. If you read the draft, it's amazing, you know, but it wasn't in collaboration with other government bodies. So now, I guess the new government figure out that it's very important to work on this by creating the new ministry, you know, the new Ministry of micro-entreprise, startup, and knowledge economy. So now it's one of their mission to try to create we call it a network between all the government body to have the same result at the end. And also the fifth proposition, it's about the strategy planning. So it means now, honestly, we don't have a clear policy about e-government services in Algeria. We have a couple policies about how to improve the digitalization and numerization. A lot of ministries are doing a great job, but still we cannot find what kind of vision we are looking for in terms of e-government. So I guess we need a clear policy about e-government services and work on it. And the last point is the mobile technology. Of course, it's a very important thing in using e-government services. We are testing the 5G, I guess, and the 4G is doing good in big cities, but still in the rural area, the reality we need to say that people are suffering about the low speed of internet. Maybe here we are living in capital or the big cities, people cannot feel it. But if we are going deeply in the south, or maybe even in the couple cities around Algiers, the network or the the network is not that good. So I guess we need to think about other resources for internet, maybe a satellite or stuff. I guess this is what I want to share with you guys. I hope that this result, I will share this result with you, and feel free to develop it and use this data for other studies.
Mohammed, it would be really interesting to see a couple of your input that you used to make this study, and then we will start with the question.
Thank you. I forgot to share this with you. Sorry. Can I have a second?
We don't want to interrupt, so it's okay. We want to see them now.
Okay. We will share the survey. It's a very important thing, because the survey contains the questions that we use and we ask to the citizen, and maybe it can make this more clear here. So we have, here we go. So this is the survey that we applied it online. This is the questions that we asked people to help us in this study. So as you can see, it's already online, so it's good. So we're still collecting the data. And this data is it's available. I have the data, but if anyone wants it, it will be an honor for me to share it with anyone who wants to do other studies about this theory and the unified theory of acceptance of technology. So the questions, the first questions are general questions about gender and stuff. But for the factors, so the factors, for example, for the use of online public services, we ask people, have they ever used online public services? And the answer is no or yes. And we got that 99% already use it. For example, what kind of online public service do you already use? We have a couple examples here, like, for example, birth certification, which we call it tous in Algeria, the extract of national certification, application for the biometric national identity card, or even passport. And also, as you know, we have online electronic commerce register. So we got this results also.
I think that most of Algerian citizens don't know anything about these services. And we just maybe know about the...
This is why we said that the government need to set up a clear policy of marketing. We need to do this. It's not about just offering people a prestation or public service, but we need to do kind of marketing for what we are doing right these days. For example, we have this, we ask people about factors, limits, or prevent that doesn't allow them to use public services. Is it because of the devices or absence of any network signal, paying for internet, the price of internet and stuff and so on? So they are the question, because of the time, Huda, I guess they are all, it's already online. So we will share it on our on the Algeria Startup Challenge pages, and maybe we can have I can answer other people via if they start to inbox me.
All right.
We have all, for example, for the attention behavior or society, we ask people this question: I would use public service online only if my friends use them. It means we're checking if we are influenced by the use of e-government service around us or not. So the questions are here, Huda. It's more than 29 questions, and the result you can get any student who
just to show them their input.
Feel free to inbox me.
Thank you very much, Mohammed, for your presentation. It was really interesting, and I have a couple of questions for you. Let's start from Facebook Live.
If you don't mind, Huda, let me invite Fabian and Laura. I want to hear from them their feedbacks, because I know they have other engagement. They have other engagement, so maybe you cannot get them during all the live. So again, let's invite them to see what they think about our Algerian perspective or results. Hello, Fabian. Okay, Laura.
Hello.
Right here.
Yes,
okay,
maybe while...
Ladies first,
yes.
Ladies first. Let's start by Laura.
Thank you. Yes, maybe while Fabian comes, I just wanted to say thank you for sharing your presentation and your job with us.
Pleasure was mine.
And as you mentioned before, I'm actually working with the government of Costa Rica right now, and we're currently working with the Ministry of Science and Technology on a proposal that is not strictly directed to e-government, but I think that some of your proposals could be interesting to mention to them, especially like you mentioned before, in the current situation with COVID-19, everybody is having to go to new methods to make. I think e-government has come to one of the priorities for every government. So I thank you for your proposal, and I would like to discuss it if the information can be available to some of the directors that might be interested in actually seeing some aspects that I think could be useful for our country.
Of course. This is the main of this live or this kind of webinars, Laura, is to share our experiences, because we know we already have this chance there. But now when we came back to our countries, everyone brought some knowledge with him. And we are trying to test what we did in Korea, if you remember, and what's going on here. And I guess, I guess with this coronavirus situation, all the government around the world are working on this. I mean, the developed country, the developing country. You know, this is the main point. Of course, this kind of data will be shared with you at any time. And feel free, Laura, I will even send it to you. Feel free to put me in touch with anyone who is interested.
Please, thank you. And yes, as I told you, I had to leave for a previous commitment I had at this time, but I'm glad I could hear most of your presentation. It was really interesting.
I will be waiting for your feedbacks.
Okay, thank you. We'll keep in touch.
Thank you for being here.
Goodbye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. 안녕하세요.
안녕하세요.
Fabian.
So I think I'm gonna introduce first Fabian to our audience before we come back to him. So, alors Fabien Mescoso de l'Équateur a récemment obtenu son master en gestion publique de l'université SKK à Séoul en 2018, se concentrant sur la connaissance des symbioses existantes en Corée entre le secteur public et le secteur privé soutenu par l'académie. Aujourd'hui, il travaille pour une institution financière privée en tant que Real Estate Business Manager, et avant son expérience coréenne, il a servi dans le secteur public en tant que sous-secrétaire de l'Agence nationale en charge de la gestion et du développement de l'infrastructure du gouvernement central, conduisant la mise en œuvre d'innovations politiques publiques pour une gestion moderne de l'État. Nice to meet you, Fabian, and welcome on Algeria Startup Challenge and SahraTech. It's really a pleasure having you here.
Thank you very much. Good evening to everybody. I would like to share a little bit of experience regarding to implementing government. As Mohammed, I think, is the main topic of this, through your research, I think you found a lot of things that we already passed in some point. I think one of the most important things is to have a governmental agency that will become the leader of that project. Let's say that we are thinking on a national plan of e-government. So if you don't have an agency that could lead among all the other agencies, you will find this situation, as you already said, that you lost the chance or the opportunity because everybody is pushing their own efforts. Every one of them are doing much better than others. So that will become some kind of problematic situation when you try to put all of agencies at the same level. So I think you will find if there is one agency that could support the whole idea of, in our case, we have the National Secretary, the agency that is in charge of the public administration. So this agency was in charge of implementing in 2012 a national governmental plan of e-government. So that's why we had the chance to implement what can I say, like it was a plan that was implemented among all the government institutions and actually to the whole country. So because sometimes you have the thing that you have the capital city, maybe the main government is there, and you just as promoting there to enhance your e-government, so you forgot the other cities. So when you have this agency that is actually taking care about across and around all the country, that will be more easy to implement a plan. Actually, it's really important to have in, it's very common that the things related with the most used things, like the national ID, as you said, or something, that's kind of the, or trying to have options to put the things more.
Totally agree with you, Fabian. But the question is, like, I think, I don't know, when you came back to your country, I will share with you my opinion. Like, we think that each country is trying to create their own model. So do you think that we need to create our own model, or just to adopt another model and try to adjust this to our specific social behaviors and stuff?
Sometimes we forgot that it's very important to have research inside our country. So because we need to address the most important needs that it's very common that in the e-government side, that you try to take some recipes, I said, from other countries and try to implement, and then when you get the problem, that you try to push things that actually you don't need it as a country. So I think when I'm talking about this national agency that could help you to promote the implementation of this program, you can address maybe 2 or 3 just things, and then as a country you can realize that it's already implemented and a good implementation along the country and among all the agencies, and then you can push in another services. So when
Fabian, you have these agencies in your country, you have this kind of policies, a special agency to address e-government service, because we just created, we have a new ministry. I want you to know that we create a new ministry in Algeria a couple months ago. We call it Ministry of Micro-Enterprises, Startups and Knowledge Economy. And also we created an agency which is called National Agency for Numerization Development. So yeah, I join your idea because I think our government starts now to see what's going on around the world.
Yeah, so we had an agency, as I told you, the name of the agency is the National Agency of Public Administration.
Okay.
So you have this agency that this agency received some kind of delegation from the president. So that's why they have the kind of authority to go through the other agencies to try to implement this. But as I told you, it was a national e-government plan. So actually, I was being part of one of those programs because we took 4 programs. It was a 6-year planning until we knew that it was already implemented in all the agencies. So it's a long-term thing. Sometimes we think it's e-government, so it should be for tomorrow. But actually you can find out that I know regarding the health, COVID-19 is a worst thing, but regarding, you can find out also maybe as we call a window of opportunity for public policies that you can try to push to try to implement some needs that you have among all with these agencies, as you already told me, among the other agencies. So it could be the opportunity that everybody is trying to reach, to solve some e-governmental governmental services to these platforms. So it could be the chance there.
Right. And if you remember, Fabian, when we were in Korea, in our university, they have a department of e-government. You remember? We have in university. We don't have this in Algeria. I don't know in your country if you have it, but in the university, do you have specific department for research about e-government, R&D, e-government stuff, or so on?
It's not exactly an e-government agency. Actually, that's why also there is a restraint about the budget. As you already told, there is sometimes very expensive to implement. So we need to try to take advantage of the resources that are right now places in any agency. Every agency has this IT department. So already they have the IT department. So actually you need people among them, over them to try to just set a plan, and they will be the supporter of that plan to implementing inside their own agency. So you don't have to create a really big agency that with all the people there trying to do this. We are trying to be efficient with the resources. So we don't have too much resources. That's a Latin American thing. So we need to be really smart about that. So that's why we didn't create, actually. We just have the agency that set the ground rules for everybody to try to do it. Set the timing, so it was kind of, will be like, let's say a public report that is saying which agencies are lacking of effort to do what they were supposed to do in some time that was already settled. So that's the thing that I think is more efficient when you are going, not just creating agencies that it is in charge of something, because if you don't have supporters, if you don't have stakeholders that are believing in the project inside any agency, it will be more easy for these agencies to say, sorry, it's not my fault. It's that agency that you created specifically and is not working well. So it should be something that everybody embrace the idea of being part of an e-government. So I think this is the most important thing. And you will find out.
We are working, you know, I just launched, I told you before, we are working on a draft, as you remember, in your scholarship or my scholarship, we were more than around 20 countries, you know, so it means we have 20 experiences already there. So we are working on a draft here in Africa, like we call it the e-government chart, the African e-government chart. And after that, we are trying to maybe reach it with the other side of the continent, maybe in America or in Asia, to have a comparative study. Like we can see what others did by opening, by sharing our data. And it's very important, I guess.
Yeah, it is. I think we have a good chance to be in Seoul, in Korea, that we have actually, as we used to say, this is our goal. So we already can have several which could be, which we will looking for. But I will try, I'm not actually directly related, but I will try to find out the information of our learned lessons, as we could say it as a national country, that we learned through the experience of implementing our e-government national plan. It was already finished in the last, we have shifting of governments, you know? Every 4 years we have the shifting of our government. So the new one, it wasn't, they thought that we achieved enough with the last government regarding e-government. So is pushing these new ideas. That's why it's important to have the citizens as the supporters, because if they are demanding the services, so the government should address their needs. So it's a kind of we need to create a coalition among the national agencies to implementing, and then with the citizens to actually give them what they wanted, and they will become the future demanding ones of new services and or improvement the already current services. So it is important that I will wish to find out the person who was in charge, and maybe he could give me some kind of studies. Unfortunately, I doubt it will be in English or French or Algerian, I don't know, it will be in Spanish, but I think that there are digital documents that we can, with the support of the new technologies, we can have that in an understanding language. But as I said, I think that was the main first step. Even though you are really doing something regarding the e-government, we should realize that if we don't have this enough support among the government, maybe it will fade down.
Totally agree with you.
The scope that you are expecting. Because as we already said in some point, having e-government doesn't mean that your agency is on web page. It doesn't mean that. It's when you actually, as you don't have to move from your home, from your office to get something from the government. That's the e-service. So sometimes some governments used to say, but all our web pages of all the agencies, all the information, what we do is already hang there. So that means e-government, it doesn't. So that's the thing.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Thank you, Fabian. It's really, really a great pleasure to hear your voice again. And I hope that that will be not the first time. Hope that can I see you other times. Feel free to follow us on Algeria Startup Challenge. We are doing these webinars and we are trying to share our expertise. And we have international Algerian that they have a very important position in US or in Europe, but they are sharing with them from Silicon Valley, as you know, sharing with us their experiences. So you're welcome. Feel free to join us at any time, Fabian.
So thank you very much for.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you, Fabian,
for your invitation. And
we did the presentation in English. We did the presentation in English just that you can follow us and share with us your presentation, because most of the Algerian prefer English and Arabic and French. They can speak English and Arabic and French. You know that?
No, I didn't know that.
Even we have some people who can speak Spanish here. Unfortunately, he's not there. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you, Fabian. Thank you,
Fabian. Have a good Ramadan. I think you are.
Yeah, it's Ramadan. Yeah, you're right. It's Ramadan.
So have a good time.
Thank you, Fabian. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Fabian.
Thank you, Fabian. So now, Mohammed, I think we're going to take a couple of questions because we have a lot of them. And so prepare yourself to be answering for the coming hour. So the first question is, what are the tools citizens could use or impose to governments in order to build trust and transparency? In other words, what are the basics for citizenship mind? Feel that you belong to a nation where you know that both your rights and obligations are respected.
Yeah, it's a very, very good questions. And this is one of the today's questions that everyone is asking. Who's supposed to start first? This is the question. Who's supposed to start first? So this is why we need to work on more about the intention. The government should understand that the citizen must know that he needs these services. We need to, and the government should explain for the citizen why it's very important to him to use its e-government. We have, for example, a great initiative launched by Ministry of Interior, which one of the main pillar of e-government, we call it e-participations. You know, the Ministry of Interior launched an application, it's an online application asking people about their satisfaction in their cities. Maybe I will explain it in Arabic for more details. وزارة الداخلية والجماعات المحلية قد أطلقت مؤخرا عبر موقعها الرسمي عملية جد مهمة، وإن هي أن المواطن يمكنه التبليغ عن أي نقص أو عجز على مستوى حيه فيما يخص التهيئة أو فيما يخص مياه الشرب أو فيما يخص حتى تهيئة المحيط. وتم تسخير غلاف مالي على مستوى كل بلدية للتكفل بانشغالات المواطنين. أعتقد أن هذه العملية لو قمنا بترويج أكثر وإعلام المواطنين بمدى أهميتها، سيكون لها طابع أثر خاص عندما يلاحظ المواطن أن انشغالاته التي بلغها إلى الإدارة قد تم التكفل بها. This is the point. So if the citizens see that when he is participating and by giving some proposals or giving some suggestions, the government or the administration is taking care seriously of his occupations, it means that he will ask for more services because he knows that he was listening. So it's a mutual relationship, but we need to reach a high degree of commitment. Our citizens should understand that we need to do this not just for us, but for the future generation.
Perfect. So yeah, I see. Let's make some noise with our next question, and which is a fact actually in Algeria. We all know that from the lowest to the highest level, your basic rights are considered a privilege. So before going to whatever city hall or daira, you find yourself calling someone who may know someone who knows someone and works there in order to accelerate the admin process. So do you have examples that show how e-government can improve these cultural practices? So I think that when you are in front of your laptop, you won't need anyone to call anyone, you know?
Yeah. The asker is right. Yeah, it's reality. But if we see the advantage of e-government, we will find a part which we call e-corruption. So using e-government services will reduce the corruption. You know, in Korea, I have the chance to be there, and I wish that everyone can have this experience because you will learn too much from this society. In their public office, there is no word which called privacy. The privacy is where you are at home or about the data that you have it in your smartphone or your own data. But what is public, it's not privacy. It means they have a camera on their head, above their head, while they are working. They are even tracking them for the public officer that they cannot be corrupted. So they are even checking their salary, their bank account, if they receive any extra money extra money that they are not used to have it, they will be questioned. Why? From where did you get it? So it's via e-government service. So it means if there is no face-to-face, it means I more protected. This is how Korea fight for the corruption by using this. But on the other hand, other people will talk about the privacy. It means that you cannot ask me about what I do, what I'm doing or not, until you have some proof, evidence to ask me. If there is no crime, why you are asking me? And this is what's happening right now in Korea. People start demonstrating on websites, and it's very, very recent thing. During the coronavirus situation era, this period, the Korean government created an application that trust and tracked the affected by the virus. So if he's moving or going anywhere, the government know exactly this guy, where is he? So they start complaining about their privacy. You don't need to share, and they are sharing. This is the point. They are sharing this data online. It means if I'm affected of coronavirus, everyone in Korea will know where am I. Did you get it?
Yeah, but I think we are all carrying somehow a mobile phone with us, and we have a GPS application on it. So somehow there is always a tracking.
But it's not public. This is the point, Huda. It's not public information. We know right now. I know that the system knows exactly where am I via my GPS or whatever. But when you make it private, public, this is another part of the equation. You know, in Korea, they share this data with everyone. It means if you are affected of corona and you are going to a convenience store to buy something, or I don't know, just move somewhere, everyone will knows where you are. And this is how so there is always two sides of what we call advantage and disadvantage. But still, at the end, Korea is one of the greatest countries in the world in terms of e-government. And even during this period, they are controlling the situation there. So it's not about privacy, but it's all about national security. So this is why
the Algerian citizen is aware enough to discuss the privacy thing.
Not yet. Not yet. This kind of issues, we will have this kind of issues, I guess, once we will start the implementation of e-payment and online shopping, when people will start putting their personal information like phones, emails, and so on, maybe we will see. But I told you the behavior of the site behavior is fascinating, Huda. Maybe we are thinking that we will find some resistance, but once this kind of policy will be implemented, I think the Algerian, the past years, reached a high level of commitment. And we see it via the Hirak and this. Couple months ago, if I told you that the Algerians are going outside without doing any, destroying anything, you will be surprised. But the reality shows that there is like a mutation in the Algerian society. Their students and the youth are reaching a high level of commitment and high level of understanding what they want and what they are looking for.
Yeah, right. So, Mohammed, a lot of people have been asking if you already applied this model to Algeria. They mean the theory you were talking about. Did you apply it to Algeria, or it was just...
the result that I was sharing with you guys, it's all about the Algerian case. But one of the limitations of the study, it was the sample size. The sample size wasn't that huge, but for master or PhD degree, there is kind of parameters that they said for master or PhD degree, if you have more than 300 or 400 answers for survey, it's okay, because you can develop the studies later, and it's one of the limitations. So this data or this result is from the Algerian case.
Yeah, sure. We know it was about Algeria, but the question is, did you apply it from a professional perspective? You know,
that's a question that it's very interesting, very important question. The asker is like, he's asking me, am I using this in my life?
Exactly. They asked in your city.
Exactly. He's asking me if I use this. Actually, to be honest with you, I used a part of it. I didn't use it all. I have the chance to work in the wilaya of Algiers, and for a couple months, I was for a few months I was in charge of the Algeria Startup Challenge program. So I was working on the trust, and I was working on the bridge. So I used one part of these models and trying to create a very, very transparent network with all the ecosystem factors like the incubator, startup, universities. And I was trying to at least tell them that what you are doing, there is people who are listening. Like, you can come at any time and share your needs. What we did in the Wilaya Algiers, and what we did the international summit where Madame Slimani was in charge, and she did a great job. By the way, I say hi to Madame Slimani. What she's doing here, what she did in this project was amazing, by asking other international experts, Dr. Riyad Hartani, a lot of names that they participate in this. So my contribution was to take some factors of this and try to at least to do a part of it, but in the high national level, not yet. But I think there is a reflection which is doing, and maybe in the coming days, maybe we can share, because even the minister, the delegate minister of startup, Mr. Walid Yassin, is working on a couple, what we call it, policies to redress and improve all the startup contribution in the ecosystem and the improving the public services. And maybe the coming days we will get very, very, very interesting news. I prefer that keep it. I'm not able to share this kind of information, but I guess Mr. the Minister will share this information in the coming days, I guess.
Perfect. So محمد عندنا سؤال رجع عدة مرات وأنا نفسي سألته إذا تتذكر. السؤال بخصوص سوق العمل. ما هو تأثير الإدارة الإلكترونية على سوق العمل؟ يعني اليوم إحنا على بالنا إنه في الدوائر وفي الإدارات العمومية عدد العمال يعني كبير، ممكن كاين une grande majorité qui travaille dans l'administration algérienne. Et donc, la digitalisation de ces services aura certainement un impact sur le marché du travail. هل يا ترى راح يكون في مواقع جديده للعمل الناس اللي يشتغل انفورماتيك، وبيان الناس اللي يشتغل في الاداره على الاوراق راح يكونوا في يلقاو روحهم في dans une position انهم ما عندهمش un travail. Donc quel serait l'impact du e-government sur le marché du travail?
Very, very important question. Thank you for the question, Huda, and for those who are asking the questions. One of, as I told you, e-government service, there is some people who are talking about the disadvantage of e-government. And here that is exactly what we call it downsizing. It means, if I switch in Arabic, السائل يطرح حول تخفيض أو تقليص سوق العمالة نظرا للجوء إلى الإدارة الإلكترونية، بمعنى أننا بالإدارة الإلكترونية أو بالتوجه الجديد للشباك الموحد أو تقليص من المعاملات الإدارية التي يقوم بها المواطن يوميا من خلال استعمال هاتفه. هذا يعني أن هناك موظفين كانوا يقومون بهذا العمل، لكن بقدوم الإدارة الإلكترونية أو كل ما هو معاملات إلكترونية إدارية، هذه الوظيفة سوف تزول. لكن دراسات أثبتت أن الإدارة الإلكترونية قد أحضرت معها فرص عمل جديدة. فعلى سبيل المثال، الأشخاص الذين سيقومون بالرد على انشغالات المواطنين أو التكفل بانشغالاتهم عبر الإنترنت قد يكونوا نفس الموظفين الذين كانوا يعملون وراء مكتب، لكن تم تخصيص لهم تكوين ودورات تكوينية مخصصة في هذا الشيء. وهذه من بعض الأمور التي أعتقد أن الحكومة قد قامت باستدراكها. وأحسن مثال ممكن نضربه، ممكن نضرب مثال أني أنا استفدت من هذه الدورة التكوينية أو من هذا الماستر في كوريا في إطار الشراكة التي توجد بين وزارة الداخلية ووكالة كويكا. إذن فقد من أجل تقديم بعض من نقل الترانسفير تكنولوجي، نقل المعلومات من دول متطورة إلى الجزائر. لذا في اعتقادي أن الإدارة الإلكترونية سوف تحضر معها لا محالة مناصب شغل جديدة يمكنها التكفل بتلك التي قد نقول أنها قد أصبحت من الماضي أو زالت نظرا لأنها غير مستعملة.
لكن يبقى مصير الناس اللي اليوم عندها une seule profession أو تعرف تشتغل على شيء واحد، راح يبقى مصيرها مجهول مهنيا.
تم
يعني
هذا السؤال كان قد طرح عندما شارك. أنا أتحدث كثيرا عن كوريا لأن كانت لي فرصة أني عشت فيها وعندي دراية بالمجتمع الكوري كيف، ونحن نحن لسنا بإجراء مقارنة بين كوريا أو الجزائر أو الجزائر وسيول، لكن هناك بعض السياسات المنتهجة التي يمكننا انتهاجها حتى أنها تم انتهاجها حاليا. على سبيل المثال تم طرح هذا السؤال في كوريا، فالمصانع التي كانت تشغل آلاف العمال عندما انتقلت إلى la matérialisation des infrastructures et utiliser les technologies pour gérer leurs usines, donc ils ont réduit leur personnel. Donc c'était une question à l'époque, est-ce qu'on est en train de créer un chômage ou il s'agit d'un chômage technique? Et ils voulaient savoir. إذن فالسؤال أن هذا الناس اللي عندما جاءت هذه التكنولوجيا تم تكوينهم. هناك بعض من المؤسسات التي قامت تكوين موظفيها الذين كانوا يشتغلون في مناصب قد نقول عنها أنها مناصب قديمة، وجعلهم وتوفير لهم بعض الدورات التكوينية للانتقال إلى منصب شغل جديد خلقته التكنولوجيا وخلقته الإدارة الإلكترونية.
D'accord. Merci Mohamed. Une autre question, est-ce que la mise en place de cette digitalisation permettra d'impliquer le citoyen dans la prise de décision? يعني est-ce que آراء المواطنين راح تاخذوهم بعين الاعتبار pour améliorer les services, pour modifier quelques services, etc.
لا شك في أن كل الفاعلين في المناخ المقاولاتي أو في الجزائر أو في الذين ينشغلون مثل الحاضنات أو المؤسسات الناشئة أو حتى رجال الأعمال أنهم لاحظوا أن هناك مع الحكومة الجديدة هناك قوة سياسية من أجل الاستماع والذهاب إلى المواطن. على أكبر مثال أن التعليمات التي قدمها السيد رئيس الجمهورية مؤخرا للسادة الوزراء أنهم عليهم إطلاق جلسات تشاورية مع كل فئات المجتمع سواء من مقاولين أو رجال أعمال أو مؤسسات ناشئة أو مؤسسات صغيرة وحتى طلبة أو فاعلين في المجتمع. إذن فهناك we call it a political will. هناك قوة ودافع ظاهر من الحكومة من أجل التواصل مع كل شرائح المجتمع. ما علينا إلا التكتل، ما علينا كمجتمع إلا التكتل في محاولة تنظيم أنفسنا في شكل جمعيات أو كما هو حال الجمعية الوطنية غالية le réseau algérien pour l'innovation des incubateurs et l'innovation algérienne. ما يقوم به هو طريقة من التكتل وجمع مجموعة من الفاعلين المتكونين من عدة كل شرائح المجتمع من أعلى هرم كموظفين أو إطارات في الدولة إلى رجال أعمال وحتى طلبة وحتى مؤسسات ناشئة، ومحاولة حصر مجموعة من الاقتراحات وتوجيه نظرة الحكومة إلى ما هو متواجد على أرض الميدان. أكبر دليل أن كما يعلم أعضاء اللجنة أن الاقتراحات التي تقدم بها اللجنة الوطنية غالية قد تم اتخاذ جملة منها بعين الاعتبار في مخطط الحكومة، وهذا إن دل على شيء فإنما يدل على مدى حرص الحكومة على أخذ بعين الاعتبار كل ما الاقتراحات التي قد تهدف إلى تحسين الخدمات العمومية المقدمة للمواطنين.
محمد، متابعة الفيسبوك تقول في تعليق It's not only about marketing, more so we need to work on the updates of our platforms to improve the capacity of those platforms and services. And she gives an example that we all know and suffered from, and it's the back results that are shared on the platform that keeps bugging. Therefore, we need to work on both sides, gaining of the citizens' trust, because on a daily basis, most of these platforms aren't updated or just they are not of a good quality to be used, you know, and everyone knows about the back results platform that makes everyone suffer the day of the results.
Yeah, you are right. Totally agree with her. As I mentioned before, during my presentation, the internet quality and the website is very important to reach the behavior looking by the government. But still, I would like to mention something in Algeria, for example. Let's take case in my own experience as a public officer. the new generation is very tended to use e-government service. We can see it by this shopping online. We notice that a lot of people during this period are trusting the online services. It's just a question of they didn't know yet that it's e-government. They thought that it's just services, but this is what we call it e-government. So it means we need to trust in our government to do the first step, because we cannot, if the government is working there and trying to improve their policy, and this is just a part. The second part is the citizen. It's a degree of commitment that we need to reach. In Rwanda, for example, the government changed the mentality. Everyone knows the story of Rwanda, and now it's one of the most developed the rhythm or the speed of developed country in Africa. She's in the first rank, because their citizens understand that to move on, we need to trust each other. So let's give this government a chance to show us what they are doing, and I think we can reach a high level of improving and enhancing all services, because we don't have any choices. We need to do this.
Yeah, actually, I need that we need to get these people involved 100%. And by having people like you, for example, Mohammed, to talk about that to youth and to Algerian citizens.
So can you repeat, please?
I said we need to get all the citizens and Algerian people involved in this solution and make them feel that they are part of the solution by talking to them, like you are doing today.
That's exactly what Algeria Startup Challenge is doing, and not only Algeria Startup Challenge. We have a couple initiatives that they are implementing right now. We have Algeria, we have NEO, we have a lot of factors here. They are working in shadow, but what we need is that to do kind of marketing about what Algeria Startup Challenge and this SahraTech webinars. We are trying to share our knowledge and give a chance for other students or participants to ask, and try to have an interactive relationship between us, that we can understand what the government is doing. One thing I want to add, one thing is like, if you remember, Huda, we had the chance to be in Constantine. You remember, for the Algeria Startup Challenge first session in Constantine, and people were asking me, I will share with you my modest experience. They never thought that one day the administration can be there with them. The students were surprised when I told them I'm a public officer. They thought that maybe I'm from the private sector. So even my colleagues in different departments, we are sharing the same vision and the same goal. It's time to give new era, new image, new spirit to this relationship, and let's try it once again, because I know it's very important. It's very hard to get back the trust or this bridge between citizen and administration. But I think the current generation is very, very, very comprehensive, and they understand that we need to do this to move on and to put Algeria in the level that it must be there. Because if we see the potential that we have, I have the chance to see it, and everyone knows that even our diaspora, they are there, and they said that we are here and we will help you to reach what we are looking for. So I guess this is the perfect timing to collaborate and try to find out what we need to do to improve this service in Algeria.
Okay, perfect. I think we have here a very interesting question on Facebook. It says, how can we really have a holistic view of what should be the priority of priorities for the e-government? And who can evaluate and select the crucial ones from the government, of course?
Yeah, wow, that's a question of a PhD thesis, you know. Very, 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 very interesting question. Okay, let's make myself clear here in one point. If we need to let's say we have a couple policies that it's already there, okay, but the diagnostic, or if I understand her question, she's talking about, do we have a diagnostic or current situation and that we can know where is the lack or not. For example, there is a couple studies and a couple companies in the world that they do this kind of diagnostic. So, and we have the expert here in Algeria, we have it. So we know exactly what we need. All the department already did this diagnostic. They know their priorities. They already discussed their action plan with the president. They presented in the government. It's a very, very ambitious action plan which contain the lack, where is the lack, where is the gap, and what we should do in midterms and short times, medium times, and in the future, of course. So yeah, this question, I guess, it's very, very, very interesting, but we need to ask others what we need to do. It's okay. We have a specializing agency to do this kind of diagnostic.
Okay. So, Mohammed, e-government se heurte chez nous à la résistance au changement. Le bureaucrate existe et son allié est le fax. Ça, on le sait. La lenteur de l'implémentation du e-government est-elle seulement liée à un manque de volonté politique ou elle est due à d'autres facteurs tels que la culture locale ou le comportement des citoyens?
Parfait. Si vous avez eu la chance de suivre mon intervention, on a eu l'occasion de parler sur l'impact et l'influence sociale. Je suis un technocrate, j'ai fait une formation purement administrative, mais mon expérience encore ici m'a permis d'avoir une autre vision. C'est que ce n'est pas uniquement pour l'État de faire ce genre d'efforts, mais aussi on doit faire des efforts pour au moins comprendre et faciliter la tâche pour d'autres. La confiance, depuis toujours, c'était une question de résistance. On appelle ça le conflit de génération, on peut l'appeler la résistance au changement, parce que chaque génération pense qu'on est en train de détruire sa legacy, tu vois, en quelque sorte. Mais ce que les gens ont besoin de savoir, c'est que la technologie vient pour préserver tout ça. Donc, on doit mettre en évidence nos différences plutôt culturelles ou sociales ou peu importe, pour avoir les résultats voulus par l'État. Donc, c'est tout un processus. Donc, on doit combiner les deux, je pense, à ma part.
Très bien. Donc, la résistance, en fait, elle existe à l'intérieur du gouvernement et à l'extérieur. Parce qu'à l'intérieur du gouvernement, en fait, nous avons des citoyens aussi qui font une résistance au changement.
Ça existe toujours, bien sûr. Houda, tu le sais, on peut commencer على سبيل المثال إذا تحدثنا عن ما يحدث في الإدارة وفي الخارج، سنجد كثير من المقاومة في هذا التغيير. إنه شيء طبيعي، لأن كل الدراسات الاجتماعية أثبتت أن كل المجتمعات، المجتمع الجزائري ليس it's not exception here in Algeria. نعلم كثير أن كل المجتمعات تعاني من هذا ما يسمى social resistance or change in resistance. But still, إذا تمكنا نحن كشباب ولا كجيل جديد من إعطاء أحسن مثال عن مدى فهمنا لأهمية هذا الموضوع ومدى تقدمنا فيه، أعتقد أن حتى لا محالة أن التغيير سيكون، لأن هناك أشخاص مقتنعون بهذا التغيير وسوف يقومون به عن قناعة وعن جدارة، لأنهم يمتلكون المعلومة، قاموا بدراسات معمقة في الخارج، متميزون في مجالهم. أعتقد أنهم سيكونون مثال، وهذا من بين الأشياء التي لابد أن نقوم بها، وهي خلق مؤسسات تكون قدوة للمؤسسات أخرى. لابد من إعانة بعض المؤسسات الناشئة وحتى المؤسسات الصغيرة والمتوسطة حتى تكون مثالا يحتذى به للمؤسسات الأخرى في النجاح وفي التقدم.
تماما.
Can I ask a question, please?
Oui, Lamine.
Okay, thank you.
Lamine, yeah. Welcome, Lamine.
Thank you. First of all, thank you for the quality of presentation.
You're welcome.
And, thank you, Dan, Huda, for your support. As we know that the relationship between the government and the people must be in continuous mode. Today, with this new government, is this a new system to have a feedback in real time to facilitate daily life of citizens?
Thank you for the question. Okay, let me tell you something, Lamine. I guess you are following what's going on in Algeria at the recent times. Most of the administration or most of the ministries already launched a couple of initiatives about how to allow other factors in society to participate in the decision making. For example, in Ministry of Micro-Enterprises, small startups and knowledge economy, or the Ministry of Delegate Ministry of Startups and even incubators, already start this kind of we call it gathering more information. As I mentioned before, via the network of Ghali, they already participated, and you are a part of it too, Lamine. So I guess you already have the information. But yeah, I will not say that we are satisfied by the degree of the speed, but this is unfortunately we got this difficult period of coronavirus. The new ministries and the new government were working so hard, but this period of coronavirus reduced the speed of other initiatives. So I think we didn't we check up again our priorities, and we move for more online services that allows citizens to stay home and do some shopping and do some what we call it telemedicine, like and e-payment. And it's a great opportunity for us, I guess, to move to the e-payment within this situation. I mean.
Yeah, sure. Thank you for your response. Alors, ce que je voulais dire, c'est que dans le gouvernement, on doit mettre un système de feedback, parce qu'au jour d'aujourd'hui, il y a beaucoup de décisions qui se font, mais on n'a pas de retour des décisions, donc de l'impact des décisions. Donc à ce moment-là, je pense que les instances doivent mettre en place un système de feedback, que ce soit technique, c'est-à-dire dans des systèmes technologiques, ou même via des réseaux, par exemple comme Rallier, Algeria Startup Challenge, ou des outils qui peuvent remonter l'information en tout cas. Et au final, c'est pour faciliter en tout cas la tâche et la vie quotidienne du citoyen. Donc, that's why I mean to facilitate the daily of life of the citizen, Algerian citizen.
You are right, Lamine. Totally agree with you. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. Thank you for your answer.
Thank you, Lamine.
Thank you, Lamine. So we're gonna take one last question from Facebook. So, do the Algerian government plan to implement e-government solutions? If yes, do you think there is a real market for consulting companies to help the government implement these solutions?
Can you repeat again the question, please, Huda?
So, do the Algerian government plan to implement e-government solutions, which is already the case, I think?
Yeah.
A couple of services exist already. Yeah. So, if yes, do you think there is a real market for consulting companies to help the government implement these solutions? Are they using any other companies to implement these solutions and other professionals?
That's exactly what I was talking about a couple of minutes ago. We need to ask for assistance. It's okay to ask for assistance. We have specializing cabinets and offices in the world. They have their names and they are specializing in doing the diagnostic and giving some policies to the governments around the world with the specific factors. In our case, we already have our specific, our Algerian specific situation. What we need here is not to create a new model for Algeria, but just to create a model that exists, but with our own specific factors. For example, she was asking about, do we have this kind of agency? As you know, recently the government announced the creation of a couple bodies like the National Agency of Numerization Development and also the Council of Innovation. This kind of agencies and bodies, I guess they will contribute efficiently to improve and to enhance this the public services in general, and specifically the e-government services.
Okay, perfect. So, donc, Mohamed, comme on le sait tous, durant toutes ces soirées de SahraTech, la question de l'écosystème, de l'innovation a été centrale. On a parlé de start-up, d'incubateurs, de recherche, de réglementation liées. Donc, quelles mesures le e-government pourrait accompagner la construction de cet écosystème de l'innovation? Donc, vous étiez en charge de cette question à la wilaya d'Alger et vous occupez encore de ces questions au niveau du nouveau ministère où vous œuvrez en qualité de conseiller. Que faites-vous au quotidien, e-government parlant bien sûr, pour améliorer cet écosystème?
Très bien, excellente question. Donc, comme vous le savez, donc, le nouveau ministère, le ministère qui vient d'être créé, donc il est en train on est en train de travailler sur le. On a déjà finalisé la feuille de route, mais malheureusement, vu le coronavirus period, our priority changed. So now we are moving more to offer the citizen some tools and to help him to face this current situation. Ce qui est sûr, Houda, c'est que pour avoir ce changement, d'autres pays ont travaillé pendant des années pour avoir ce stade-là. Si on donne l'exemple de Séoul ou de Hong Kong ou du Tokyo, ce n'est pas au jour au lendemain, ce n'est pas dans 2, 3 ou 4 mois ou une année ou 2 ans. Ça fait 20 ans qu'ils sont en train d'y travailler sur le mindset, sur le comportement, sur la confiance, la transparence de l'information, la qualité d'information transmise aux citoyens. Donc, je pense qu'avec la création de tous ces organes, je pense que l'écosystème avait besoin à un moment donné d'un interlocuteur au niveau central. Il y avait plusieurs initiatives annoncées par plusieurs départements ministériels, mais malheureusement, on ne sentait pas qu'il y a une coordination entre ces initiatives. Donc là, c'est le rôle primordial de ce ministère, c'est d'assurer une coordination, comme il est un ministère horizontal, donc il touche pratiquement l'ensemble des secteurs, éducation, santé, culture, sport, art, tout ce que tu veux. Donc, maintenant, les jeunes startups ou les micro-entreprises, les incubateurs, même les universitaires, je suis en contact avec plusieurs clubs scientifiques à l'université, ils ont finalement trouvé un interlocuteur au niveau central qui peut transmettre leurs besoins, leurs préoccupations au haut niveau, jusqu'au Conseil des ministres et même au président. Et c'est une initiative que je pense que tout le monde a appréciée, la décision de créer un nouveau ministère avec 2 ministères délégués chargés des startups, des incubateurs. Chacun est en train de faire un immense travail. J'ai eu l'occasion de participer dans certains dossiers où vraiment, ils sont en train de travailler pratiquement 18 heures, 17 heures par jour c'est un témoignage que je dois le faire, même peut-être qu'ils vont être contre, mais jusqu'à 4 heures du matin, 5 heures du matin, juste pour finaliser l'ancrage juridique, les statuts, qu'est-ce qu'un incubateur, qu'est-ce qu'une start-up, le Startup Act, le financement. Le ministre M. Jeridan Yassine vient d'annoncer récemment la création d'un nouveau mécanisme de financement islamique, et c'est très important. On connaît que les Algériens sont très sensibles à la matière, donc en leur offrant un choix alternatif en passant vers le financement islamique, le cas qui a été fait dans plusieurs pays qui ne sont pas musulmans. Donc, je pense que oui, effectivement, les ponts vont être reliés, encore une fois, à travers ces ministères et ces responsables.
Très bien. Mohamed, une dernière question et on te laissera partir. Avec Algeria Startup Challenge, nous avons la chance de compter parmi nos partenaires de sociétés technologiques de renom telles que Intel, Cisco, etc. Ces entreprises fournissent des solutions usitées partout dans le monde, notamment auprès des gouvernements. Les contraintes sécuritaires en Algérie donnent souvent l'impression de ne pas pouvoir ou devoir miser sur ces solutions, même si certains contribuent à accélérer le processus de développement du e-gouvernement. Est-on en mesure de développer nos propres solutions? Et sinon, comment sensibiliser les décideurs à les utiliser? Et surtout en ces temps de confinement, en fait, on s'est tous retrouvés obligés d'utiliser un moyen de communication là où on partage des choses parfois très confidentielles.
Effectivement. هدى، قد يعتقد الكثيرين أن هذه الفترة من جائحة كورونا قد أثرت كثيرا، لا محالة أنها حقيقة قد أثرت كثيرا على معاملاتنا اليومية، لكن أنا عن شخصي مندهش لكمية المساهمات التي قام بها شبابنا في عدة مجالات. هناك من قاموا بتطوير، كان لديهم مشاريع مطورة وقاموا بتعديلها حتى تواكب هذه الفترة. هناك العديد من المنظمات الجامعية الذين يعملون على إنجاز الأقنعة وكذلك القنوات التي تقوم بتعقيم الأشخاص. هذه المشاريع ربما لم يكن لها مكتوب أن ترى الضوء لولا وجود هذه الحقبة، وكذلك كانت فرصة لنا إذا كنت متمكن من المعنى أنه حتى قمنا ب en quelque sorte on a vérifié l'intention du gouvernement à suivre ça. قمنا من خلال هذه المشاريع لاحظنا أن كل الوزارات قد أبدت جاهزيتها للاستماع والتكفل بكل المشاريع التي قام بها عرضها الشباب، وكانت كما نقول des projets réalisables et faisables selon l'impact sollicité. Donc effectivement, je pense qu'on peut avoir une Algérie nouvelle très, je suis très optimiste par rapport, parce que je suis en contact avec l'ensemble des facteurs ou des activistes dans l'écosystème algérien, et les intentions sont magnifiques, Houda. Tu le sais déjà, donc j'espère d'ici la fin de l'année, on aura un écosystème, c'est ça ma vision, peut-être d'ici la fin de l'année, on aura, avec l'installation de l'Agence nationale de développement numérique, avec l'installation du Haut Conseil de l'innovation, avec Inch'Allah تفوت علينا هذه المرحلة من الكورونا ونعاود نرجعوا للحياة تاعنا الطبيعية، راح يكون فيها مفاجآت كثيرة، حتى أن السيد كان السيد وزير المكلف بالمؤسسات الناشئة راح خلال التدخل تاعه راح يقدم إن شاء الله معلومات جد مهمة للمؤسسات الناشئة ولكل متتبعي هذا الحدث فيما يخص بالتوجيهات التي قامت بها الحكومة أو رئاسة الجمهورية من أجل التكفل بهذه المعاملات الإلكترونية.
Merci beaucoup, Monsieur Taouche. Merci pour ce moment de partage. Vous nous avez vraiment épatés. Merci pour la transparence qui tranche et avec l'image que l'on a du fonctionnaire, avec des personnes comme vous, la nouvelle Algérie à vos visages. Donc, la thématique était extrêmement importante et intéressante et je pense que nous allons... c'était food for thought pour les citoyens algériens, tout âge et profession confondus. Merci beaucoup.
شكرا هدى. دونك فقط نذكر الساده اللي كانوا المتتبعين ان please feel free to inbox us if you have any questions, if you need the data that I already collected, or you need some more explanation. Maybe we didn't have enough time to explain most of the factors. Maybe I wasn't that clear when I was presenting. So feel free, please, to inbox us, and we will have a pleasure to answer you. Also, نشكر كثيرا القائمين على هذا سهرتك، فتاح، نسرين، إيمان، هشام. أنا على دراية بأنهم يقومون بعمل جبار، هم في خلف الشاشة لا أحد يعرفهم، لكنهم هم السبب فيما نقوم به الآن وفي ما نحاول تقديمه إلى مجتمعنا. كذلك كل أعضاء اللجنة العلمية لتحدي الجزائري للمؤسسات الناشئة كانوا معنا، صبروا معنا، درنا لحقنا وين اون ديبلاسي في كلك ولاية وين سمعنا جبنا دي بروجي. كذلك فرصة أني نقول لكم باللي أنا متأكد عن نفسي قناعة أنه التغيير راح يكون مهما كان الثمن اللي غادي ندفعوه، لكن التغيير راح يكون لأن فيه مجموعة من الناس اللي كانت لي فرصة وين عملت معاهم ولا تعاملت معاهم ولا والله هدى لا روعة انك تشوفي ناس مثل في اعز العطاء مثل حبة بالقاسم ولا مثل حد سنهاجي دكتور سنهاجي ولا مثل دكتور يد حطاني ولا اللي avec leur networking ils sont prêts, ils sont là, ils veulent. Avec le camping on annonce le camping تاع le big camping اللي غادي يكون ان شاء الله اعتقد يوم 14 the biggest camping training that will be launched a few days I guess the day after tomorrow if I'm sure. So شكرا جزيلا هدى وبارك الله فيكم على حسن الاستماع وليلتكم سعيدة وإن شاء الله نتمنى لكم التوفيق إن شاء الله في حياتكم المهنية والعملية.
Je remercie les chers spectateurs. Merci pour votre participation, patience, engagement, questions et échanges. Ça nous fait toujours plaisir de partager ce moment de qualité et de savoir avec vous. نتلاقاو غدا إن شاء الله مع موضوع جديد يعتني بالموارد البشرية. كونوا معنا. صحة صحوركم. شكرا.
شكرا. السلام عليكم.
سلام.